Do you, if you haven't yet, do you plan on adding jewelry to your collection?
Pardon me?
Jewelry. Do you plan on designing jewelry if you haven't already? Do you plan on designing jewelry as part of your collection?
The sky's the limit. I did a course here on jewelry making, and it was a lot of fun. That's not something I feel passionate about,
Mhm.
but I am very open to learning new things because you never know how jewelry making you can use that to make something else. For example, the techniques that I learned in jewelry making, I was able to use those and make a wire rock collection, and it was fused with African prints. It was called a star, and I collaborated with pieces and things on that, and it was well received.
Do you have
Uh,
any samples there?
I no here right now. No, I have pictures. I probably send those to you.
When you create a piece, what is the message you want to send to the observer or reader?
Well, I want them to know that it's elegance, it's quality, that they're seeing, that Shasha Design is the brand that they can trust, that a lot of detail and craftsmanship goes into every piece that I create. Sleepless nights. Sometimes I don't sleep to get an outfit done, but it's worth it. So when people see my designs, I want them to have an appreciation. I want them to understand, because sometimes not every style is for you, but you can appreciate the art in it. So that's important to me.
It's it is not fair, rather, to talk about fashion and designing and the creative process without talking about the business of fashion.
Yeah,
How
definitely.
how are you as a businesswoman, and how has your upbringing influenced your approach to business?
Well, I, you know, a lot of designers forget that at the end of the day that, they have a business and they need to ensure that the business aspect of the the brand is, you know, handled properly. So for me, customer service is extremely important.
Hmm.
Um, I try to reply to my clients right away. I have an email address and I use it. I listen to clients. I'm understanding. And I mean, growing up at home, my father's a stickler for time.
Mm.
So I have appointments and I set time. And sometimes people don't always, they're not always on time, and they're not also apologetic for being late either. But I understand the role that the customer plays in the business.
Hmm.
So even though I know at home growing up, we had to always be on time, in my business, I sometimes give a little leeway with clients with regards to that because I understand that, sometimes things may happen, but I'm always very understanding with clients.
You
Also, one of the things that we do is, if you had a piece made by me even 3 years ago and you want it to be altered, let's say you have it had it a while, you may have lost weight, maybe you may have torn it in something, you can always bring it back to me and I will alter it for free because that is my design. And I believe in giving back to customers because they're coming to you, and without them we couldn't be here.
How did you arrive? I mean, you're 31. How
Yeah.
did you arrive at these strong and very principled business ethics?
I had a lot of growth, man. I had a lot of growth moments, but
Okay, okay,
also,
fair enough.
yeah,
You
but
you.
also,
Go ahead.
But I was gonna say that the way my father raised me was to think before I act. You know, growing up, I was the young lady that I would tell you how upset I was, and
Oh,
as I grew older, I would think and I would stay quiet and calm, and then I would act after. And it's important to think, center yourself, and calm. So I've had a lot of growth moments with clients, and I didn't get upset about it. There were times that I did get frustrated. There were times that I did cry. But this is something that I want. This is my dream. So I just took it under advisement. I learned as much as I can, and I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I will not do. Okay, this happened, so that means I need to put better measures in place.
you you
So
you got an award for excellence, fashion innovation at the Caribbean Style and Culture Fashion Awards and Showcase. This was held in Maryland, USA. How
yeah,
did this award speak to you?
I was extremely honored. I didn't really expect it. I didn't know that there were people watching me and watching my work, and thought that my work was influencing Caribbean culture, and because you're just doing it because you love it. So it was an amazing experience for me. I'm extremely grateful to the Caribbean Style and Culture committee that selected me, and it was an amazing experience.
One of the things we are discovering and is that Guyana has a growing body of young fashion designers that hardly too many people get to hear about, outside of Guyana, outside of the region, and so on.
Yeah.
Who are some of your colleagues? Who are some other fashion designers, young upcoming fashion designers that you admire in Guyana?
Oh, Sydney Francois, without a doubt. Sydney Francois is he's the designer for Francois Designs, and he is extremely talented. He makes a lot of pageant gowns. I don't know if you know the Miss Universe Unique Fraser, that one. He designed her red gown, and it was extremely beautiful.
Who else? We just got a few more minutes, and I want to get in some more questions. Who else you admire?
And Wanza Glenn, I think he's a genius. He
M.
is
Wansu.
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think M. Wansu Glenn was one of the fashion designers that appeared at CWS fifth anniversary in Guyana. I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, M. Wansu. Very good. And some women in fashion designs that you admire? Well, this is
Um,
broad. This is doesn't have to be just Guyana, but broadly.
well, women in fashion that I admire, of course, Olympia Small, Sonia Noel, Kimon Baptiste, Kimmy Glasgow, Mailing. Actually, when I came to Trinidad, I went straight to Mailing, and I was like, Mailing, I need you to be my mentor.
Wow.
Mailing is awesome. Yeah. Um,
And how is that working out?
she's been very supportive and helpful.
Awesome.
She is filled with so much experience and a host of advice to give. She's
Two
really,
two
she's
words.
remarkable.
Two words you would like people to come away with after seeing one of your designs.
Um, I would want them to feel inspired,
Hmm.
um, and I would want them to come again, come and buy something.
I'm going to go an extra 5 or 10 minutes because we had some problems in the beginning, your connections, and then people weren't hearing us. And so, to be fair, we'll speak for a little while longer.
Okay, no problem. That's
If
fine.
you were to eavesdrop your parents telling someone about you, how would how do you think each of them would describe you?
I think my mother, she would say that she's extremely proud, and I've come a very long way. and I've taken just, you know, watching her sew to another level where I'm creating new things.
Mhm.
Um, and I think my father would also say that he's extremely proud. He knows I have it in me, and he feels that I could do more, and he sees me doing greater things that I don't even see for myself.
Talking about your dad and the question he asked you about the science of fashion of fabric, what is
Yeah.
one thing you learned about fabric that resonates with you, really surprised you, and still resonates with you?
Um, one of the things, well, there are many things, but one of the interesting ways were the ways to test fabrics. And I didn't even know about that. So there's a burn test method that you can use. And when you burn the fabric, the way the smoke rises, the way the fabric burns, the way it smells will tell you whether it's natural, whether it's synthetic. It would tell you the characteristic of the fabric. And also, even like the yarn count and the twist of the yarn. And instead of depending on people when you go into a store and you say, oh, what fabric is this? And they don't even know, you can do it yourself. And that's an amazing tool, and I'm happy that I learned that.
I am almost certain that some of the women looking on tonight and just getting just beneath your collarbone and just above your forehead of your design, curious to see what you're wearing. Is it possible to push the computer away from you so we can get a little bit more of
Okay,
what Keisha is wearing?
okay. Is this better?
Well, it's a little. Well, we're seeing the head wrap, but can you yes, tell us a little bit about what you're wearing. How what influenced that?
Well, actually, this was created for me by a friend of mine.
Hmm.
She's Nigerian, and she knows my love for Prince. This is actually Ankara, and it is dashiki. And I wear it, you know, in a modern style. Well, my style, I roll the sleeves up,
I
but
see.
she knows that I like to be comfortable. And based on, you know, the things that I like, she made this. She was like, "What do you want?" And I said, "Okay, just something simple and, you know, African print. You could do some fabric paints on it, and, you know, use
The
a natural fabric."
this
And she found linen.
the Sasha design have a men's line.
No, I've never done a line, but I've created pieces for men. I've designed for groomsmen. I've designed for young men for prom. And I make stuff for my dad and my uncles.
Hmm.
But I've never done a menswear line.
Hmm.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
If you could go to a place, your favorite place to relax, with your favorite thing to read, favorite thing to drink, and favorite music, where would this place be? What will you be drinking? What would you be listening to? And what would you be reading?
That's very hard for me to answer because I don't know how to not work. It's something I'm working on. Um, it's something I'm really working on. I just love what I do and I don't see it as work. So even when I have free time to relax and hang out with my friends, I'm like, okay, I just want to go back to the store or I have this to do or that to do. So that's kind of it.
If your hand fumbled your library for a book or something to read, what would it be?
It would be The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I actually want to read that back. I read that
Good,
book three
good,
times,
good
and it's one
choice.
of my favorite books.
Good choice. And when you're really thirsty and just want to enjoy something to drink, what will that be?
It will be water.
Water.
I don't have soft drink anymore, but before Sprite, that was my go-to drink.
And your favorite music?
Oh, well. Well, right now I'm listening to a lot of old stuff. So I'm listening to Nina Simone, and I'm really loving
Wow.
it.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
I'm beginning to understand your creativity. I hear that. All right. What has your success taught you about yourself?
Um, my success has taught me to remain humble,
Hmm.
to put God first, because without Him, anything would not have been possible. Only through Him I can achieve things, and I've seen that. So that's extremely important to me. Family, and you know, being positive, sharing knowledge willingly and freely with people. That's all of that encompasses success to me. I'm extremely encouraged, and I try to give advice because I would want people to do the same for me. Um, I Yeah, I think that's it.
That's it.
I
Which of your collections, which of them, or which one is your pride and joy, or rather, which piece? That is unfair. It's an unfair question. Let.
yes, I'm
It's an
thinking so
unfair
like, how
question.
are you gonna ask me to choose between my children? Like
But which of your collection,
that's so hard.
which one of your collection really, really resonate with you?
Oh my,
You
that's
are,
a
and,
tough one.
and you have some
That's a tough
amazing
one
names,
because
by the way.
everyone was created when I was going through something at some point. But I would have to say my Rebirth collection because
Rebirth.
that was yeah, I would have to say my Rebirth collection. That was an awakening for me and a return to myself. So yeah,
Do you wear your own designs?
of course I do.
Mhm.
Yes, I do. I do all the time. Well, most times.
Best piece of advice for young people trying to get into the industry?
Well, the best advice I can offer you is to believe in yourself. Um, do as much research as you possibly can in your field of interest. Whichever aspect of fashion design you want to be in, do so. I didn't have the opportunity of having a mentor, but reach out to designers that you admire and ask them to mentor you or intern with them because it's an amazing learning experience. Um, Also, look at your country, see what type of education in regards to your field that they have to offer. If you can go abroad and study, no problem. But if you can't, YouTube has everything. There's a lot of information out there that can help you and practice daily. The more you practice, the better you get. I don't believe in practice makes perfect. I believe that practice makes improvement. The more you improve, the better you get at your craft. So, and always stay humble. Stay humble. Don't ever get erratic. Just be patient and listen. I think that would be my advice. That's my advice.
Do you feel free when you design?
Yes, I do.
You do. I want to ask. I'm going to ask you this question in a sort of twisted kind of way. Is there for you
Okay.
a connection between art, your designs, and freedom? And if so, how would you describe their relationship? Art, design, and freedom. Is there a connection? And if there is a connection, if you believe there's a
All right.
connection,
So, when I'm gonna have to ask you to repeat because I didn't get that.
okay, is there for you a connection between art,
Hmm.
your designs, and freedom? And if so, how would you describe that relationship?
Yeah. Um. art and design is not necessarily something that somebody gives to you. That's something that comes from within.
Hmm.
That is your creativity, your natural talent. Whatever you think of or dream of that you can create. With art, with design, there's no limits, and I think there's freedom in that.
You see, this is why I am so passionate about showing the world young
But
Guyanese. I mean, you did that question such justice. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for answering it. Thank you. If you were to sit in front of me 5 years from now,
thank you.
you're welcome. If you were to sit in front of me 5 years from
Pardon?
now, if you were to sit in front of me 5 years from now, what would you like? What would you be telling me about your accomplishments?
I would be saying to you that I have a bachelor's degree in fashion design. That I have my fashion house based in Guyana, and I don't want to say it too much. I don't want to say it too much because I believe that some dreams you share that dream with God, and then you do it, and then you share it with the world. So I'm not going to say it too much, but I'll
Fair
definitely.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not
I
gonna
have my
fault.
fashion house in Guyana, and I will have my best.
So by then, Shasha designs would have evolved
Yeah.
tremendously.
But most importantly, one
Hmm.
of the things I definitely,
Go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say one of the things that I really want to do and I'm passionate about is empowering women through art. There are areas in Guyana where women would have dropped out of school, whether it would have been teenage pregnancy or problems at home or domestic violence. And I want to have a program where we educate them through arts that they could use, whether it's knitting and sewing, pattern making, pattern drafting, as a means to provide, income for themselves. So that's something I'm working on too. So in 5 years,
Hmm.
I think that would be established, and I would be sharing that with you.
Awesome. What are you most thankful for?
Um, family. I'm thankful for family and for life.
Okay.
Without my family support, I wouldn't be where I am today.
When are you most happy?
And
Sorry.
I'm thankful that I have life, that I get to live each day, pursue my dreams.
When are you most
Yeah,
happy?
continue. I'm done.
When are you most happy?
Pardon?
When are you most happy?
When
When are you most happy?
I'm most happy when I am creating. It's a wonderful.
What drives you? What
When I'm
drives?
creating,
Okay. What drives you nuts
yeah.
about being Keisha Edwards?
That there's not two of me.
Oh man, you're good.
Oh my goodness. I say that often. I say, oh my goodness, I wish I could clone myself.
If you had the
Yeah.
chance to go back in time, what will you tell? What would you tell the 15-year-old Keisha?
I would say your father was right. Party and don't go nowhere.
Oh, so you were a party girl? Okay.
Oh no. That well, the thing is I used to pine about not being able to go out
Oh,
with my friends.
uh
I
huh.
would say to myself, don't worry about it. It's not that serious. It really does not change. You're not missing anything. Um, I've always been an extremely positive person. I never really dwell on negative things for too long. So, for me, if I saw my 15-year-old self, I'm extremely comfortable with a lot of the decisions that I've made.
Uh-huh.
So, and, I don't believe in regrets and challenges. Like I said, growth moments. That's how I look at it. So for me, I would just say, you know, keep working hard, keep being positive, and partying don't go anywhere, and relax a bit and spend some time, with your family and friends. You don't always have to work. I think that's what I say.
What are you most proud of?
I am most proud of my work and what I've built. Coming from a place where I had people say to me that I couldn't do this, that I wasn't creative. And there were days that I believed them. And sometimes I'm just, surprised at how far I've come. So I'm extremely proud of the process that led me to where I am now.
What makes you laugh out loud?
Oh my goodness. I love to laugh. Sometimes it's the silliest thing. Anything really. It could be something as simple as a meme or, old stories, old childhood stories that we might bring up about each other, my siblings.
Uh-huh.
They have me rolling. We have a WhatsApp group, and sometimes they're talking old stories, about who fell out the down street and stuff like that. And I'm just rolling. It's funny.
Keisha, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And keep up the good
Have a-
work. I'm looking
Thank
forward.
you so much.
I'm looking forward to that men's line that you're planning to put out.
Definitely.
All right. Good night.
Good night.